again today. All right, good morning, traders. Today is June 3rd, 2026. My name, Coach Kerrigan, lead instructor here at the BYOB Trading Room, day trading service for the Hit and Run Candlesticks family. Thank you, everybody out there in podcast land, digital land, cyberland. Thank you for liking, following, and subscribing to my content. Thank you for the kind words. Thank you, everybody out there that shares the content. Ed Carter, Rick Sadler, Kathy, Sarah, Roasted, Bob Jordan, John Jordan. Thank you so much for sharing the content. Appreciate that. Helping get the good word out there to the World Wide Web. All right, let's get started this morning, and we got some announcements. Tomorrow, June 4th at noon, member e-learning starts with Doug, then myself, then Rick. About an hour presentation from each of us. Topic's going to be my favorite trade setups and some examples, I guess. Okay, so that's going to be in the combo room. All right, so if you don't know how to get to the combo room, come up here, go to your Hit and Run Candlesticks website, login page. Up here, you go to your members page right there. And, well, it's not, let me log in, all right, so we can get this going. So you go to your members page, and instead of signing into the BYOB trading room, you'd sign into the combo room, which is right here. This is the combo room, and then everything's going to be recorded, and you'll see it right here under e-learning replay, and you got about 10 videos on the e-learning replay per page, and you got 36 pages. That's about 360 videos right there. Okay, so that's how to find that. All right, so let's take a look at a little summary of what happened yesterday. All right, my SPY pivot this morning, 758.50. Above it, I'm a bull. Below it, I'm a bear. IWM, higher low, higher high. Closed over a bullish trap over the rising 17. I guess it's going to make another stab at those all-time highs. SPY diamond down QQQ made new all-time highs again. FNGU, lower low, lower high, closing over a bullish trap over the rising 17. SPY closed 10-minute uptrend, 2-hour uptrend. Gold made a higher high, higher low, closing under a bearish trap and under the falling 17. Silver, same thing, higher low, higher high, higher low, closing under a bearish trap under the 17. USO still in a downtrend, made an inside day. It's a lower high and a higher low, closed over a bearish trap, so I guess trying to make a comeback, and under the flat 17 EMA. UNG, lower low, lower high, closed under a bullish trap and over the flat 17. US dollar index still in a daily uptrend in that bear flag, closed near the 99.25 area. SPY max pain for today, 758. Put to call ratio is about 1.2 puts for each call that expires today on the SPY. Remember, those index options expire at 4:15. Security options expire at 4. Main event this week, AVGO earnings. That's tonight after the close. Probably going to be after 4:15. And the employment situation, 8:30 on Friday. All right. If this is your first time seeing this, these are all in daily uptrends over the 17 EMA. These are all in daily downtrends under the 17 EMA. If they got a little star next to it, they're building on a launch pad, or I call it it's a bull flag, and from which to launch higher. If they got a little dash next to it, means they already started the breakout. Take a look at Marvell. Nice breakout yesterday. Okay, so dash means they're already breaking out of the bull flag. Okay, same thing over here. Got a little star next to it, means they've making a platform, all right, or a bear flag from which to dive lower. If they got a little dash next to it, that means they've already started the breakdown. All right, so bearish and under the 17 EMA, bullish and over the 17 EMA. All right, let's take a look at the markets yesterday. Start with the 10-minute chart. on SPY. You can see the sticks in the 3. Not very much room here, but sticks in the 3 riding up over rising 8 EMA right here. So 10-minute uptrend coming into the close. 2-hour chart, you can see the sticks and the 3 riding up on top of the rising 8. So we've got 2-hour, you got daylight between the 3 and the 8. Not much. You got 2-hour uptrend coming into the close yesterday, and the daily candle made a new all-time high. Doesn't get any better than that. So obviously bullish in an uptrend. Top of quadrant 4, hasn't made any lower lows, so no in jeopardy of being in a downtrend. So bullish and in an uptrend there on the daily chart. And if you're making new all-time highs, chances are weekly and monthly are going to be bullish and in an uptrend as well, especially if the daily's making new all-time highs. All right, let's take a look at QQQ. QQQ is on the 10-minute chart. Same thing, got sticks in the 3 riding up over the rising 8. So got a 10-minute uptrend on QQQ coming in to the close. On the 2-hour chart, you got the same thing as SPY. You got the sticks in the 3 riding up on top of a rising 8 EMA. So, right, so we got a 2-hour, you got daylight between the 3 EMA and the 8 EMA. That's the white line underneath there. So there's a 2-hour uptrend coming into the close yesterday on QQQ. Daily candle made a new all-time high. Again, here's the origin of that rally. Starts back here at the end of March. Okay, so that's bullish and in an uptrend on the daily chart. You can see top of quadrant 4. No lower lows, so obviously the uptrend still exists. QQQ weekly and monthly are going to be bullish and in an uptrend. Really don't even need to look at them. If you're making new all-time highs on the daily, it's going to be hard not to be bullish and in an uptrend on your weekly and monthly, especially if your daily is making new all-time highs. That's QQQ. Take a look at IWM. IWM, not new all-time highs, but looking like they're ready to make a stab at making a new high based on yesterday's candle, closing at the end of the day near the high of the day. Higher low, higher high, closed over a bullish trap, closed over the rising 17. Clearly, here's the origin of that move. Didn't start at the end of March here. So we got a higher low, higher high. Haven't made any lower lows, so we're still in an uptrend. And you can see we're at the top of quadrant 4. So that's bullish and in an uptrend for IWM. Let's take a look at Diamond Dow. New all-time high for Diamond Dow. You can see that breakout over that base there. You can see sticks in the 3 riding up on top of the 8. That's going to be bullish and in an uptrend, closing the day at the end of the day near the high of the day. See that at the top of quadrant 4? That's bullish. All right, obviously it's in the upper third, so that's bullish. Haven't made any lower lows below the 17 EMA, so we're bullish and in an uptrend on Diamond Dow. FNGU, we've got a lower high, a lower low, closed over a bullish trap, over the rising 17, top of quadrant 4. Okay, so that's going to be bullish and in an uptrend. Haven't made any lower lows. Don't even have a spike of the 17 EMA. This is the closest thing that comes to it. And that just barely protrudes through the bottom of the 17 right there. Okay, so bullish and in an uptrend on FNGU dailies. Take a look at precious metals. Start with silver. Silver's got a higher low and a higher high, but still closed under the bearish trap. Closed under the falling 17, closed under the all-time high, anchored VWAP. That's the pink line, the upper pink line right there. Okay, so if we pan out, you can see the origin of the move starts way back here in 2022, and you can see where this would be quadrant 1, 2, 3, 4. This is quadrant 3, bottom of quadrant 3. So that's going to be neutral. It's not in the upper third, not in the lower third. So it's neutral and still in an uptrend. They have not made lower lows in a while. So let me just say they're not moving up ever since we made the higher high they've actually been melting off or moving to the right. So it's still not a lower low yet as far as pivots go. Haven't made a lower low, so we're still in an uptrend, but dysfunctional uptrend because we're not moving up. We're actually melting off or moving to the right. So dysfunctional uptrend there, and neutral, all right, because we're not in the upper third or the lower third. That would make us either bullish or bearish there. So neutral and still in an uptrend for silver. Let's take a look at GLD. That's gold. Now you can see gold made some lows here, and we made lower lows, so they're still in a downtrend. Yesterday's candle, higher low, higher high, still closed under the bearish trap and under the falling 17 and under the all-time high anchored VWAP. We're still in the upper third up here on GLD, so that's bullish right there. But still in a downtrend because we got a low and they're making lower lows. So bullish but in a downtrend on GLD. Let's take a look at USO. USO's got a higher low and a higher, looking like more like an inside day. It's a lower high, higher low. Closed over a bearish trap but under the flat 17. Up here in the middle of quadrant 4, that's going to be bullish. But you can see a low here. And we got a lower low, so bullish but in a downtrend on USO. You can see the origin of that rally. Starts all the way back here in 2023. And they're up over that post-COVID rally anchored VWAP right there. We could probably take that off. We're not going to need that anymore. All right, so there's USO. Bullish but in a downtrend on USO. Let's take a look at UNG. All right, UNG, this is a 14-month high anchored VWAP right there. And you can see of all the quadrant lines, this chart looks much, much different than the others. Everybody else is kind of up here in the upper half. Silver is all the way down, UNG, NatGas, is all the way down here in quadrant 1. So that's going to be in the lower third. So that's going to be bearish. So we're closed. Yesterday's candle is a lower high, a lower low, closing under a bullish trap and over the rising 17 EMA. So that's UNG, still bearish, still in an uptrend. You can see a low here. You can see we printed a higher low. You can see a high here or a high here, and we can see we printed a higher high. So we're still in an uptrend until we make a lower low. That's UNG on the daily chart. So that's bearish and in an uptrend on UNG. Let's take a look at internals, T2101. This is a 15-minute chart of the absolute breadth, and you can see we made new all-time highs in the market yesterday, but the breadth right here dipped off a little bit more. So we're getting less and less participation in these all-time highs, making for not a very strong high up there. This could come tumbling down, not having all this participation that would be needed to formulate a nice base up there. So they're kind of struggling up there with participation or the absolute breadth. So that's a bearish clue for me right there. T2122 put in a bullish clue. We spent the day yesterday in the buyer's chop zone as opposed to the last 2 days prior in the seller's chop zone. So that's a bullish clue right there for T2122 15-minute chart. We're over the gold line right there, so bullish clue on T2122. T2123, you can see right here we've got some highs from the prior day, and we made some higher highs. So we're no longer in a downtrend. You can see the green dots. We're now in an uptrend. You're up over the hooking 200 SMA. That's where you want to be, is above that 200 SMA if you're a bull. So nice hold. Look at price moves from the bottom of quadrant 4, top of quadrant 3 up, and then over to the right. Nice bull flag right there. So that's in an uptrend. And if I pan way out, you'll see Here's the origin of our move, end of March, running up there, making a new all-time high. So we're bullish because we're in the upper third, all right? And because of yesterday's higher highs on the 15-minute chart, we're now in a 15-minute uptrend on T2123. Let's take a look at the 3-bar chart. Same measurement here, T2123. Again, here's the March rally, all right? All the way down here, all the way up there to make new all-time highs. That was the prior all-time high. You got the rising 200 SMA. That's where you want to be, is above that if you're a bull. You can see we're at the top of quadrant, we're in the middle of quadrant 4. That's going to be bullish. And you can see these lows right here didn't take out these lows. So we're still in an uptrend on T2123, bullish and in an uptrend 3-bar chart. Let's take a look at FNGU. FNGU yesterday was kind of holding open that bull flag up there. Okay, let's look at price move up from these lows, up and then over to the right. Nice bull flag in there, holding those highs. That's incredibly difficult. That's like planking right there for 2 days straight. We're up over the rising 200 SMA. All right, so that's bullish. All right, it's where you want to be if you're a bull. All right, got that open gap. Looked like it got filled yesterday. Almost got filled. Right there, you can see they came all the way down. Almost tried to fill the gap, but they failed to fill the gap. Price went running back up there. So we're on FNGU. If I pan way out here to the March low, all right, this is the origin of this rally. Starts back here at the end of March. If I stick the quad lines on there, okay, from that low to that high, okay, you can see that we are in the top of quadrant 4. That's going to make us bullish right there, 15-minute chart. But are we in an uptrend or a downtrend? We'll see what we got here. We've got a high, we've got a low, and you can see we made a lower low. So we're in a downtrend on the 15-minute chart. We're bullish because we're up in the upper quadrant 4, but you can see we made a low right here. We made a lower low. So that's a downtrend on FNGU. Still up over that rising 200, still planking up there at those highs in that bull flag. So on the 15-minute chart, they had a little 15-minute downtrend start. We'll see if they have any continuation to that. Doesn't look like they want to continue going down. Looks like they're ready to start moving back up. That's FNGU 15-minute chart. U.S. dollar index. Okay, this is our U.S. dollar index. You can see right here, this is the 2025 highs. You can see this is consolidation right through here between 2023 and 2025 right there. That would be consolidation. The bottom of that consolidation would be major support if you're above it. And then the top of it would be minor support, okay, if you're above it. Okay, we were above it. We broke through minor support. We broke through major support. We had a 6-month downtrend on the daily chart, making lower highs and lower lows and lower highs and lower lows. And then we produced a bear flag after finishing our 6-month downtrend. And that's going on for 10 months now. All right, 10 months in this bear flag. Still trying to break back up. This was the major support, remember? Still trying to break back up into this area where the consolidation zone is. And they've tried 6 times to get up there and failed each time to find a home or find able to hold the higher ground up here in the consolidation zone. So you can see currently we're in an uptrend in our 10-month bear flag here. We have a high right there. They made a higher high until we make a lower low. They remain in an uptrend. So we've got on the daily chart for the U.S. dollar index, it's in an uptrend inside of our 10-month bear flag, probably going on 11 months now, okay? So there's daily chart of the U.S. dollar index. Let's take a look at the economic package. SPY max pain for today is 758. That's for the options. in the SPY that expire today. Remember, those index options expire at 4:15. Security options expire at 4. Put to call ratio, there are 1.1 or 1.2 puts for each call that expires today. No sign of a put squeeze on the table right there. Okay, so the 758, unless they change it, I could refresh it, see if they're going to change it on me, because they did yesterday. And here it is juicing up now. And tonight, all right, we got one of the main events tonight, and that's going to be the Broadcom earnings. All right, $2 trillion. That's part of the AI tech community. That's going to be all eyes on that, because AI tech community is kind of topping out right now. This whole rally was based on the AI tech. All right, I think it's going to die on the AI tech. So we'll see what happens. Broadcom earnings going to be released tonight after the close, probably after 4:15, when those SPY and those QQQ options close. All right, so there's earnings tonight. That's the main event for this week as far as earnings go. Thursday, nothing but familiar names. Nothing that's going to be market moving there as far as QQQ and SPY. Friday, we've got, again, more familiar names. Nothing that's going to be market moving as far as it goes with SPY and QQQ. Back to the Max Payne, still 758, still 1.2 puts for each call. That expires today. On the economic front, today we're going to have MBA mortgage applications at 7, ADP employment report, 8:15 this time as opposed to 8. We're going to have PMI composite, or 8:30. PMI composite final, 9:45. Factory orders, 10. ISM services index, 10 o'clock. We've got a petroleum report, comes out at 10:30. That's going to be inventories and what the status is there. Beige book coming out at 2 p.m. today. Tomorrow we've got jobless claims at 8:30. See, normally those employment numbers come out at 8:30. ADP employment reports coming out at 8:15 today. Okay, but tomorrow we've got jobs claims 8:30, productivity and cost 8:30, and then we got a gas report at 10:30, and nothing new there. And then the main event for this week is going to be the employment situation, which comes out at the beginning of every month. It's going to be released at 8:30 on Friday the 5th, right here. Then we're going to recount at 1, and then consumer credit at 3. All right, that's it. Let's take a look at SPY. See how we want to trade SPY this morning. Let's push this up. Let's pull up the SPY chart. Let's take a look at the SPY game plan. Pick it up on the 15-minute chart. Okay, so the 15-minute game plan for SPY right here. And then we'll take a look at the pre-market to see if we can discover anything new. All right, so green erases red entry over 760.40. Pivot's going to be 758.50. Above it, I'm a bull. Below it, I'm a bear. Red erases green entry under 756.75. Okay, that would be taking out the lows of yesterday. That would be my red erases green. Taking out the highs of yesterday. That would be my green erases red. Other than that, 758.50. Things are probably going to be bouncing around either in the upper half or the lower half. All right, so this buy, I like 2 days and 9 days till expiration Friday options on the multiple of 5 with strikes that are at the money or $1 over. I trade 10-minute uptrends over VWAP, 10-minute downtrends under VWAP. If a 10-minute uptrend happened to manifest up here long before it gets to the red erases green entry down here, I'm not opposed to trading the 10-minute downtrend. I just like to see it break the 10-minute bearish rubber band candle. Same thing with the uptrends. If a uptrend were to manifest down here long before it got to the green erases red entry up here, all right, and I'd just like to see it break a 10-minute bullish rubber band candle. all right, in order to take that trade. Okay, got to have some rules, otherwise you wind up losing your account. All right, so again, got to break the candles. Got to break the candles. Okay, so not opposed to trading them. All right, just got to have a rule to get in. All right, so there's a SPY game plan. QQQ's got a game plan as well. Again, same thing. Friday options on the multiple of 5 strikes at the money or $1 over. 10-minute uptrends over VWAP. 10-minute downtrends under VWAP. Got green erases red over yesterday's highs at 746.45. Got red erases green underneath yesterday's lows. That's underneath 739.20 pivot 742.45. Okay, so that's QQQ game plan. Let's go back, take a look at SPY, and let's put the pre-market on there and pick up a clean chart. All right. So here's our post-market activity, and we are caught inside of our post-market activity right through here. Okay, on the first, we have a high. On the second, we have a higher high, but that's yesterday, not by much. And then throughout the day, we tried to continue to bounce up higher, and notice we failed to get any higher highs throughout the rest of the day. Okay, so last night we came down to test the lows. Okay, in the post market, we could not make a lower low. All right, so they're probably going to go back up and test the highs, which they did, and they couldn't make a higher high. So I'm just going to say there's a high probability of price getting trapped between that high, and obviously the bulls came in and rescued it here. Obviously the bulls came in and rescued it here. So obviously between this area here and that high there, chances are price is going to be trapped within there until it breaks out of this, either to the downside or to the upside. I'm probably just going to be sitting on my hands or trading the edges of the channel. All right, it just makes no sense. I got no edge. There's no 5-minute trend. You notice everything is virtually flat here. Okay, still virtually flat. So really just interested in trading the edges and let it either come out. I want to see it break out, pull back, test the base, and then I want to see the bulls come in and give me the follow through, or to the downside, I want to see it break down, come back, test the base, and then I want to see the bears come in and give me the follow through. Okay, so there's SPY. We're caught in a range, and we may be chopping between this channel or in this range until 1 o'clock. All right, we may not get the breakout until 1 o'clock. And then again, it may happen right here at the open. All right, but we'll see what happens. But I'm telling you what I see. I noticed there's the dip, and the bulls brought it up yesterday. There's the dip in the overnight session or last night, and the bulls brought it up. Okay, both times right there. Okay, so we're probably caught in this channel. Probably not going to be a trade. Probably better off looking at either gold or silver or for a trade in there. Other than that, I'm waiting for the breakout. I'll trade the top, short back to the pivot, trade the bottom, long up to the pivot. Okay, price kind of rolling over right now. Got a lower high, got another lower high, got another lower high. So we got ourselves a little mini trend here. Again, probably not a reliable trend. All right, remember it's only on the shorter time frame. Okay, so we'll see how far this trend. Looks like they're rolling over, to break those lows. So yesterday we had the unique situation of a unconventional triple top. We had a high, we had a high number 1, high number 2, and then high number 3. All right, the unconventional, because normally when a triple top comes, it's 3 separate days. But here we had one day was the high, the next day was the second high, but before the afternoon, before the day finished, they tried one more time and failed to get higher. All right, and notice they even came back off of VWAP and rallied it back up there, still failed to get any higher. All right, so there was a unconventional triple top. They had the breakdown, but they could not break through VWAP. They actually J-hooked off VWAP to come back up here and try to challenge those highs. So we'll see what happens. We're looking at an unconventional triple top right here. Now we're looking at an unconventional quadruple top right now, because we got 1, 2, 3, and then that makes 4 right there. But this one happened after market close. Okay, what we traded yesterday, this was, I want to trade a uptrend, all right, to the pre-market call wall, 760, trade a downtrend to the put wall, 755. Okay, so what we had was on the 5-minute chart, this is yesterday, at the open, I'm going to pan over. I'm going to show you what we traded yesterday. Okay, here's the market opening up. You can see we have the 3 on the 5-minute chart crosses over the 8. We pull back, we test, make a higher low. So we break out of the morning range, test the top of the morning range, and then rip all the way up to the call wall, which was at 760. Okay, so we traded this uptrend right here. Okay, picture of money right there. Okay, that's VWAP on the 5-minute chart. Okay, so we traded from the bottom of the channel, as you can see, to the top of the channel. All right, so it's very likely that this price action today comes down to, they've been down there once. They have not revisited. They tried to revisit the top of the channel. Didn't quite get it there. See if this is going to hold. We're getting some movement now into the bottom of the channel. Will this hold? It's going to be a big exhaustion candle. I need to see the bulls come in and erase the exhaustion candle in order to get long, all right, and come take it back to 760. Other than that, I am looking at a potential triple top, or actually quadruple top, right here on the SPY chart, all right, which could send us all the way down to 756, obviously, all right, the bottom of this right here, this consolidation right through here, 755.26. See how this consolidation comes up here and this consolidation here. So right there, 755.20. That would be my target on the downside. And below that, looking at 750, that would be 751. Okay, that would be the top side of this consolidation right through there. All right, so we'll see how far they want to go this morning. Things don't look like they're falling apart, so we still got one more big boy to give us earnings. So I have my doubts about this falling apart right here. Although it might, we'll find out soon. All right, looking like another exhaustion candle coming in pretty soon here. And we'll see if they find some support in the same area that they found support before. Remember, bulls rallied it up before, bulls rallied it up before. But both times, bulls managed to ink out a higher high here. Okay, but notice no higher high on this one. Okay, so we very well could be coming back down to test the bottoms. All right, so there's SPY on the 5-minute chart. Let's take one peek at the gamma exposure before you take off. So currently, the call wall is 761 and the put wall is 757. Okay. Well, you can see I've got my channel line at 760. Remember, it's 761 plus or minus 50 cents. So 760.50 on up to 761.50. Okay, and you can see my other side of my channel is 757.52. So roughly 758.57 right there. So again, the call wall and the put wall, 757 plus or minus 50 cents. Call wall, 761 plus or minus 50 cents. You can see the biggest one is right here with the call wall. Typically, price will be magnetically attracted to that. But if they've been up there and they couldn't make higher highs, it's price's normal reaction to come back down and find the lows to see if support is going to hold. Now this has become support on the top of this consolidation. We can see right here where the bulls rescued the price, okay, yesterday, and then they rescued it again last night. All right, so we'll see what happens if the bulls are going to come in yet again after failing 2 to 3 times here. 2 times to make significant higher highs. They failed twice. So are they still inspired to rally it back up? We'll find out soon. All right, so I like this to the down. We'll see if it breaks out right here. All right, so that's my plan this morning. We've got a range. I want to trade the breakout of the range. That's my plan. Other than that, when it gets down here and I see on the 2-minute time frame, all right, when it gets down here and I see on the 2-minute time frame some type of bullish engulfing or reversal like we had here, that's where I'd be interested in trading it back up to the top of the range. So we'll see what happens this morning. All right, that's it for me this morning. All right, so I'll see you guys in about 35 minutes and we'll open up the markets and trade them together.